Back when I was 6 or 7, I saw a movie that changed my life. That film was Night of the Comet. It was the first film that I had ever seen that had zombies in it, and it was the first movie that actually got me thinking about the apocalypse and what the world would be like without people. Well, luckily Shout Factory has put out Night of the Comet on Blu-ray for the very first time, and I'm taking a look at it with fresh eyes nearly 30 years after it originally came out. John Airy here with Photon City News, and boy, let me tell you, this thing has got the nostalgia meter running high. Let's talk first about the plot.
Hey, where have you been? You're gonna miss everything from the start.
The setup: everyone on Earth is super excited when a rare comet makes its way near the globe. Think of it like a Halley's Comet that only comes around once in a lifetime. People throw parties, it's a big deal. Unfortunately for all of humanity, it turns everyone not spending the night in a metal building into dust.
Here's Chuck.
Or it mutates them into an angry zombie. Two Valley Girl sisters survive, along with a truck driver from San Diego. The trio must band together to fight off the last remnants of society that are slowly losing their minds and turning into evil zombies.
You wouldn't believe what we want from you.
A few things become abundantly clear while watching this film. One, the tone is unlike any other zombie movie or end of the world movie that you're gonna see. The characters are wonderfully optimistic. They don't spend a lot of time lamenting their lot in life or worrying about how they're the last humans on the planet. Instead, they just kind of get on with their lives. They talk through their feelings and then they move on.
All right, Reg, why should I be weirded out? My sister, who swiped every guy I ever had my eye on, has now swiped the last guy in the whole freaked out world.
They track down weapons, get food, go shopping at the mall.
Which do you like better? This? Or this?
The second one. Yeah, definitely.
How come?
Because it'll stay in style longer.
For a movie about the end of humanity, it stays wonderfully upbeat. Not to say that these characters don't take it hard. They exhibit signs of post-traumatic stress syndrome at times.
What's wrong?
It's okay. Look up.
And they'll lash out at the people around them.
Give us a break, Hector.
That's to be expected in this sort of situation, right? They're under a lot of pressure. Also, this is a movie that gladly embraces everything that's wonderful about the 80s, from the music to the fashion to the consumerism, where a film like Dawn of the Dead uses its characters and its zombies to make a pretty strong statement about our buying habits as consumers. This one takes the opposite approach and really embraces it and says, you know, if you're the last person on Earth, it's okay to go to the mall and get a new wardrobe and collect a whole bunch of really cool cars and get some neat stuff. That's definitely the upside of being one of the last people on the planet.
Hey, you know how the Harbor Freeway is always bumper to bumper? Well, you can go 150 miles an hour if you want to. Me and this baby, we go through them freeways like turkey crap through a tin horn.
Also, I like how the characters sort of cling to their old lives. There's a radio station in town that's broadcasting a tape of songs done by a DJ who had died, you know, hours earlier, but they still drive around town listening to this tape as it plays on the radio. It's just a fascinating way to show how these characters, even though they're in this brand new world and they're all alone, they still cling to that life they left behind. Another aspect I like are the female characters. The two sisters who are front and center here, they're unlike any protagonist that we had seen up to this point in an 80s movie. They're played by Catherine Mary Stewart and Kelly Maroney, and at first glance they come off as these Valley girls who aren't very bright and don't have much going for them, but the more you get into the story and the more you get to know these characters, you find out that they're probably the most apt people to survive the zombie holocaust in all of Los Angeles. Luckily, their father, who has some sort of military background, trained them right, and they are foes to be reckoned with. That doesn't keep them from being soft and feminine at the same time.
Don't go to San Diego, okay?
I have to.
I'm not sure how any self-respecting geek wouldn't fall in love with the main character, Regina. Not only does she work at a movie theater, she's really cool, she could kick your butt and protect you from a zombie attack, but she also has the high score on Tempest at her local theater where she works. She's a great catch. In turn, these characters, they seem to have a lot of layers to them, which makes them unpredictable when you put them into these very harrowing situations with zombies and government scientists and evil people trying to steal their blood. Another thing this movie has going for it, it doesn't have a huge production budget, which is a positive here. Instead of having zombie hordes coming after these characters, the zombies are hiding one by one in the shadows of Los Angeles. You never know when one might pop out from somewhere. And the zombie makeup looks really, really good. I love how the eyes are sort of sunken in. They're still human, but they've lost that flesh tone and turned almost animalistic. Plus, without the huge budget, they had to be pretty creative in the way they shot some of these scenes. For instance, there's this great scene that's talked about in the extras.
We're supposed to get Uzis, and we got Mach 10s. And Tom was so frustrated, everybody's kind of frustrated because they jammed.
So they're trying to get through these scenes. They just decided they'd ad-lib this one scene in particular where they're doing target practice. And what comes out of the scene is something that feels very fresh. It doesn't feel rehearsed at all, and it feels very natural, much like the relationship between the two sisters. It permeates this wonderful natural quality in the relationship, the way the scene's shot, the dialogue. It just feels very real.
See, this is the problem with these things. Daddy would have gotten us Uzis.
The car didn't know the difference.
As far as things that didn't work very well, the action scenes, they're kind of clunky and they just kind of plod along, both the hand-to-hand combat scenes and the shootouts. I tend to chalk this up more towards a second-time director being in charge with not much of a budget. They're just not very exciting to watch. Also, the male protagonist isn't very interesting, especially when you compare him to the two female leads. He's played by Robert Beltran. You might know him as Chakotay from Star Trek Voyager. Unfortunately, he just doesn't have much personality, and I think that's part of the script, which was rewritten.
You know, so I was very cognizant of the sociological factors that were being explored here, and so that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to just make him a cholo.
But he said, no, the only way I'll do this movie is if I can make him into sort of a Gary Cooper leading man, and in turn we have this very bland character who doesn't really have much personality. In one way it kind of works because you can project your own emotions and your own feelings onto this blank slate of a character, but again, when you put him next to the two girls, he's just kind of milquetoast. And finally, the lead actress, Catherine Mary Stewart, is slightly miscast as the lead Regina. She's supposed to be a high school senior or junior. She is clearly a woman, and that is abundantly clear in every scene. She radiates this wonderful sexuality and strength and knowledge and wisdom, something that a lot of 17, 18-year-olds simply do not have.
Come on, Hector. MAC-10 submachine gun was practically designed for housewives.
So overall, Night of the Comet still holds up after nearly 30 years. The Blu-ray itself is really good. The picture is sharp and clear, good sound. This has interviews with 3 of the main performers and the special effects supervisor. We also have a new commentary track from 3 of the performers as well. And it's just an attractive looking package. I'm very, very happy with this Blu-ray. Thank you, Shout Factory, for sending it to me. I will treasure it for a long time. But those are just my thoughts on Night of the Comet. What are yours? You can leave your comments below and keep checking in with PhotonCityNews.com for the latest news and reviews. I'm John Airy.